Instead of working on my mountain climbing video game, I'm watching YouTube for 3 hours a day. To solve this, I built an AI that will threaten me and destroy my computer, and it will look at my screen and make a judgment about what type of work I'm
You're
doing and
wasting
whether
time
it's
with
valuable.
distracting tabs instead of focusing on your core Next.js development task.
I don't know why it thinks I'm developing Next.js. It's not a technical manager, it's just a regular sort of guy. But I've added a bunch of options to this. So it has this rage calm meter. The more it goes towards rage, the more awful it will be. But also, it actually has the ability to edit my computer directly. It can run commands, it can delete files. I've actually disabled this because it's already deleted a huge amount of data off my computer
Still
when I was
juggling unrelated tabs instead of concentrating on your Next.js project. Close unnecessary tabs now.
it's truly an awful manager, but it does seem to be doing the job. I've got a bunch of options I can add to it. I can make it sarcastic. I can make it even more toxic.
Your tab addiction is reaching new levels of absurdity. Are you developing or just collecting browser tabs?
Okay, now you see, it's just tried to remove my documents file out of the gate. I don't know why. It actually did this already. I've already had all of the documents on my computer deleted, which is terrible. There's huge amounts of stuff in there I needed. It's gone. I've actually disconnected this from my command line because it was doing too much damage. Uh, so this is not actually deleting documents because it's already
Obsessing
done it.
over productivity tools
Holy
instead of
fuck.
writing code. Meet a
So
procrastination at its finest.
this AI has just tried to delete my entire computer. Luckily, I've disabled it. Uh, yeah, all I'm saying is I don't think it's good to put an AI into a manager position because it seems to hate you and it's trying to delete my entire computer. That being said, I do think if you toned it down a little bit, it could be very motivating. It could really give you a lot of critical feedback, help you do your job better.
Making a productivity tracker instead of doing real work. You've
Holy
achieved peak meter
shit.
procrastination.
So it's going even more intensely trying to delete. I'm just going to double check. I have actually switched this off. So you see here, I've commented out the line for executing the code because I had a feeling it was going to try to brick my entire computer as it's done here. I think if I toned this down a little bit, made it a little bit awful, it could really resemble a real manager and be a lot of value to people trying
Building
to
a
motivate
sarcastic productivity tracker.
themselves
Your
in their
commitment to
spare
avoiding
time.
real work is almost impressive.
So here's how it actually works and how it's all put together.
Development environment idle with no active coding. Wasting time on monitoring tools instead of actual work.
The core of the manager runs in an Next.js web app. Every 30 seconds, it retrieves a screenshot from the browser screenshot API. It sends that screenshot off to the Claude Sonnet API, which is then sent back what commands and also what thoughts the AI has had. This also writes to a history and angriness log, which is used in future requests. It then uses the browser's default text to speech API to speak, which is an awful sound. And finally, it can execute commands by hitting the Next.js API endpoint, which runs CLI commands on my computer. So the whole thing runs about 120 requests per hour because it runs one every 30 seconds. Each request costs about a thousandth of a dollar, so each hour costs about 10 cents. An average engineering manager makes about $80 per hour, so I've undercut engineering managers by about a factor of 800. Also, an engineering manager will often only check in on people every 5 minutes, whereas this checks in on people every 30 seconds. On top of that, this ability to use more advanced techniques such as blackmail, threats, and outright aggression to motivate people, which most engineering managers are unwilling to do.